Watch your profanity.
Tell them something is coming. There's blood in the water. Give them a warning. Let it all come crashing down. Burn the castle to the ground. Hang their lives, no disguise. It's our time. Let it all come down. Let it all come crashing down. Burn the castle to the ground. Hang their lives, no disguise. It's our time. Let it all come
Right, so I'm gonna be talking about For Honor, and basically, when you start the game, you'll go through a cutscene, and that cutscene will show you what happened before everything happened. Like, there will like an earthquake happened, where where everyone, all the factions, like all the samurais, Vikings, and knights, got affected by it. Like huge earthquakes that ruined the world. You get to know, like that. Okay, there are Vikings, samurais, and knights, and they are all against each other. And then you need to get to pick a faction, which is either the knights, samurais, or Vikings. And when you start up the game, you will see this screen right here, and you have multiplayer, story mode, training, custom match, hero, store, yeah, all that. This is not very important for what I'm gonna be talking about, or this, in matter of fact. When you start up the game, you will get forced into a training so that you get to at least get used to some stuff. Like you get to understand the stances that you have to defend yourself, and then when you've done that, you've gone through the basics, then you can go either into multiplayer, story mode, or training. And then to go, like, you can go into training and learn your character or your characters even more if you're not familiar with the game, or you can just jump straight into story mode or multiplayer. It's all about what you want to do yourself, if you want to learn the game or not, by training or not. So this is all the characters in the game that you can see here at the bottom. They're all these. If you see my cursor moving around in the bottom, around the characters, so all these six characters are all from the Viking faction, and then all of these six characters are all from the Vikings. This is from the Knights, and this is from the Vikings. Sorry. This is from the Samurais, and then this here is from a new DLC. So it's not out yet. It's gonna be out in 9 days approximately, and then we'll get to play these characters. These are the new Wuling faction that they added a huge update. And you can change your customization to look different the more you level up. So as you can see here, my character is very high level, therefore he looks like this. And from the beginning you look like something like this, for example, and then you level up, you get your gear, and you start looking like this. Know your character, you get skillful uh, and not skillful in the sense of having uh, like maxed out gear and destroying low levels because they don't have enough gear to defend themselves. So the gear won't make a difference pretty much at all. And all the weapons that you can see, like for example on this character here, the weapons that they use are all from historical uh, parts of like history. Like for example, this berserker here, for example, there were real berserkers the in the Vikings time of year, like when they were active people. So they used these weapons in real life, which makes it interesting for some people, just to know that there are olden time weapons that were actually used, like katanas and and swords and axes, such things like that, like you can see here. So when you get to progress, as I said before, there is not a big difference on how much damage you do. For example, like if we start looking at this character, for example, if I now have the max gear on this guy, you'll see here perks. I'll show the perk definition. Right, so Gale Storm, the circular twirly thing in the top left, uh, it says upon hero kill, gain 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. That's not a very big upgrade, which makes like it doesn't really like it doesn't give you much at all. For like the one below that, endurance, when gaining a renown level, receive free stamina cost reduction. So that's a very small upgrade, which will make it easier for people that aren't as high level, will still be able to defeat higher level people if they have the skill for it and knowledge of the game, which makes the game more competitive. As you can see here, I have now entered a training arena where I can now train my moves, and if I'm unfamiliar with a character, I can test out the moveset. Here you can see in the moveset, here you have all the moves that you can do as this character. So you can see at these, like for example a shield bash, let's see, or a toe stab, for example. When I can see that, okay, if I pull back my stick and press square, it will do a toe stab, and then it did some damage to him. So I can learn how to feint, I can train my moves to confuse the enemy. Like that. So what is the target group that they want to focus on making this game for? It is definitely a medieval game, as you can see. Like there's olden times battles, like close encounters. You use swords instead of guns, which some people are a huge fan of. And there is yeah, if you're interested in Vikings, knights, samurais, and you think that they are epic, then this is a game that will satisfy you in that direction. So what makes people want to play this game? Like what's the drive for playing this game? Like why would I want to keep on playing this? And the reasoning behind that is, like, for example, to level up from this to then evolving to the end of this is epic. And when when you play the game, also you improve, you get better at the game, you start knowing it, you evolve to a better player, which is also very satisfying to beat that one guy that kept on beating you finally, or being able to parry, or being able to deflect very easily is also a very rewarding accomplishment. So what's the point of doing an execution? Uh, the point of doing an execution is tactical point of view is that you get health. When you finish an execution, you will regain a small percentage of health for finishing the enemy, and when you execute someone, you they will not be able to get revived anymore. So that could be a huge benefit for your team. Uh, and also they just look cool. Like look at this one, for example, just keeps punching him and then he just flies away. I think they just look amazing, which is also a small satisfaction to finishing someone with an execution. Not a problem at all. No, definitely does not need a fix. So, okay, so what needs to change now is the question. Definitely Orochi, the character I was just playing. This person right here. He's broken. His life attacks are way too fast for people to react to, as you could see just there. There was no chance for him to win, and I did one move. That was all I did. What I did once in that fight, I did a heavy feint, but that was it. After that, I did all life attacks, nothing else. So I definitely think that they need to fix Orochi's light attacks. They should either rework him completely, give him completely new moves and slow down his light attacks, or just put them from 400 milliseconds to like 500 milliseconds instead, because right now it is way too hard to react to his light spam, as people call it.